Thank you, Dr. Nidhika. I fondly remember that a few years back, when I had visited Cardiff, I had the privilege and pleasure to address all my professional colleagues there in Cardiff and the adjoining areas in Wales. And I also remember Professor Keshav Singhal, who had organized that function along with you. And just now, I am happy that I had the privilege to hear Dr. Vaughan Getting, your minister in Wales, and I can assure him that whatever he has talked about the relationship between India and Wales, more particularly on the health front, will make it stronger and will certainly adopt a more positive attitude towards this relationship. In fact, you have given me just 15 minutes to describe the success story of India, which is a very tall order. For me to do it in 15 minutes is a real Herculean task, as much a Herculean task as the fight against COVID was. But we feel proud in saying that under the leadership of our great visionary Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, adopting a whole of government, whole of society approach, we could fight against COVID with absolute commitment, dedication, valor, and whatever you can say. It was a great fight, and at the end of 1 year, we feel quite satisfied about our success, which is definitely much better than most of the countries of the whole world. But we also feel sorry that in the fight we lost our people also. We lost many of our corona warriors, our medical professionals. But their sacrifices, I think they will go down in history of this fight against COVID, and I will start by paying my tributes to all of them. Just to be precise and to run through this story of 1 year in just 15 minutes, I have to tell you that India was the first country in the whole world to have responded within hours of the news that broke on 6th of January through WHO that a new coronavirus has been discovered in China. And within hours on 8th of January morning, we had called our meeting of experts. There we discussed this whole issue and started planning on the same day. And within the next week, on 17th of January, we had drafted detailed guidelines for the whole country, and they were issued to all the states in the country, to all the union territories. And on the same day, we had started a massive exercise of point of entry surveillance, which started with the airports. Then it also was done at the seaports and at the land borders. And simultaneously, we started a huge exercise of community surveillance. Our first case in India was on 30th of January, a medical student who had come from Wuhan, and we started a contact tracing of the level which I can assure you that nobody in the world may have done that much of meticulous contact tracing, which we pursued and continued to do all through the year. In the first case itself, we had done a contact tracing of 162 contacts. And all this, whatever preparations we had to start, we had done much before. WHO had, in fact, called this as a pandemic of international concern or an emergency of international concern. We had a group of ministers formed very early in the fight. In the first week of February itself, headed by the health minister, and this week itself, I had organized the 23rd meeting of this group. There were some 11 empowered groups of the top secretaries of all the related departments of the the government, and there were regular meetings which were monitored by the Prime Minister, which were monitored by the Cabinet Secretary, which were monitored by the Health Minister, and if I have to count those meetings, I think their number will go into hundreds. We had a continuous interaction with all the health ministers, all the health officials of the country all through. And at any point of time, I would recall that there were a few lakh people who were under very close surveillance, meticulous surveillance, a surveillance which I think it's you have to actually see that, to feel that, and to imagine the level of surveillance that we had actually done. And this whole setup, when we had started, in fact, we had never thought that we are fighting a battle against a virus which is going to be so wild and which will spread so fast. So we started creating our facilities. You will be happy to know that India, when we started our fight in February, March, we had just one lab which could test the virus in this country. And today, when I am talking to you, we have already created 2,362 laboratory facilities where the virus is tested. We were amongst the first few countries in the whole world where we isolated the virus, and we started stepping up our health infrastructure in the country. And within few months, we in fact had developed over 15,000 dedicated health facilities for COVID, where there were more than 19 lakh beds. And on top of it, simultaneously, we created over 12,000 quarantine centers. When we initiated our campaign, we were short of PPE kits, we were short of N95 masks, we were short of ventilators, and but within no time, everybody rose to the occasion, and we converted that whole situation that into a blessing in disguise, difficulty into the challenge into an opportunity. And within no time, we came to a situation where we were producing 5 lakh PP kits in the country every day. And during the course of the pandemic, we had sent over 400 lakh N95 masks and over 170 lakh PPE kits and over 36,000 ventilators, which we started manufacturing in the country itself. And during the early stages itself, where there was shortage of medicines all over the world, we were in fact exporting hydroxychloroquine to 150 countries all across the world. And then I would like to remind you that this pandemic was declared by WHO on 11th of March. And then we had that historic, most innovative Janta curfew in India on 22nd of March, where everybody, cutting across anything that you can imagine, whether it's a political party, whether it's any section of the society, whether it's a child or an old man, 100% people stood like a rock, and they were all supporting that Janta curfew. It was the most innovative thing that was done, and it came out successfully. And at 5 o'clock on 22nd March, everybody came out of his or her house, and they were lauding the role of the COVID warriors, the doctors. And then followed the lockdown, which was probably the biggest lockdown in the history of the country, and of course maybe the world also. Total lockdown and then all those problems that we faced during the lockdown. And if I have to highlight one important thing, that was the issue of the migrant laborers, because they got stranded, they lost their jobs, and there was so much of difficulty. The government ensured that they managed to give food, money and everything to more than 800 million migrant laborers for almost 6, 7, 8 months. And when there was a need, we in fact sent them to their native places through special trains. As almost 65 lakh of such migrant laborers. There came many situations and many problems like this. And the most important thing that we did was, in fact, to actually we had to teach the society about the COVID appropriate behavior. So the Prime Minister must have addressed the nation, at least if I have to recall the last 1 year, must have addressed the nation at least 8, 9 times, apart from organizing all these meetings. 117 crore people with mobile telephones. We could ensure that all through the 1 year, through a caller tune, they were given the right message through for the COVID appropriate behavior. We created Arogya Setu app, which is probably the most, you can say, in terms of numbers, the most successful app in the whole world, where 16 crore, that means 160 million people, they downloaded the app, and it gave you a warning if somebody who is either positive or potentially positive comes near you. The Arogya Setu app in your phone will give you a warning, and so many other similar apps were actually created. And for doing all this exercise while we were fighting with COVID, with the strategy to actually test early, to track early, to treat early, and creating all these facilities in the hospitals, simultaneously we ensured that at least, if I have to, in the initial few months itself, we must have trained during the course of that pandemic over 3 to 4 million workers, health workers, because COVID being a new disease, right up to the grassroots level in a country as vast as India, where there is a population of 1.37 billion people, we simultaneously trained people. How do you fight COVID? What are the norms of fighting COVID? How do you do the isolation? How do you quarantine? How do you maintain the physical distance? And this training program was continuously organized, and even today, after 1 year, the training program is being done for millions of workers who are involved in the vaccination process. Then I would just give you an idea that during the initial stages, I would say it's February, March, a lot of experts had come from various American universities and other places, and they gave huge, big interviews to the media here. And everybody said that India is going to be doomed. There is a country of 1.37 billion people, and how will you control it in the villages? How is it going to be controlled in the slums of India? And they had predicted over 300 million cases and 5 to 6 million deaths for India. And today, if I tell you that today I can very proudly say that we have the highest and the best recovery rate in the whole world, that's 97%. Our case fatality rate is just about 1.44%. And the total cases, against a prediction of over 300 million cases, 400 million cases, our total cases in India till now in the last 1 year is 10.7 million, and out of these 10.7 million, 10.4 million have recovered. They have gone back home fully healthy and having fought the disease successfully. And right now, today, I have just 0.17 million active cases in the country. I think this is something very unique. From a situation where I mentioned to you about these labs, simultaneously all our scientists, because I hold the charge of the science ministries also, all our scientists, they rose to the occasion. There was a battery of scientists working for vaccine development. There were people working for development of new ventilators, innovative ideas. There were people who ensured that new indigenous testing kits were developed in India. We validated almost 1,000 kits for testing. There were scientists who were working for repurposing of the drugs, and then during the last 6 months, scientists had very actively worked for development of these vaccines. And you know that by now we have already given emergency approval to 2 vaccines, as has been mentioned by your minister also, that one of our vaccine manufacturer is supplying vaccine and making available vaccine for 60% of the, at least the developing world. And today also we are sending these COVID vaccines to at least a dozen countries. We have already started with that. We have got these 2 vaccines. Another 3-4 are in various stages of clinical trials. Maybe another 3-4 months we may have a few more vaccines in the country. From 16th of January, with the leadership of the Prime Minister, these vaccines, our health workers have started getting the vaccines. By first of day after tomorrow, our frontline workers will also start getting the vaccine. In the month of March, everybody in this country above the age of 50 will start getting the vaccine. On the first day itself, we vaccinated the maximum number of people vaccinated anywhere in the world. And today when I talk to you, we have already vaccinated over 3.5 million health workers in almost 63,687 sessions. And whatever we are doing right now, apart from the things that we did throughout the year, the ensuring that the vaccines are given to the right people at the right time, and there is tracking and recording of everything in the best possible manner. We created a national expert group for vaccine administration in the month of August itself. For 4-5 months there was continuous meticulous work, training of again millions of people at the grassroots who are going to give the vaccines, taking care of all possible precautions, adverse events following vaccination, and then ensuring that we have the most advanced, I say it is probably the most advanced platform in the whole world, which we call CoWIN. Earlier, for our routine immunization program, we used to have a eWIN platform, that was a electronic vaccine intelligence network. Now we have, and that used to track the vaccine from one place to the other along with the showing the temperature. Now this new platform that we have created, CoWIN, it also tracks the beneficiary, and the list of beneficiaries are uploaded, and there is a very meticulous automatic mechanism. People will get a text message about when do they get the vaccine, where do they get the vaccine, and when they get the vaccine there on the proposed day, everything is again recorded. It is again given back to them, and then for the second dose they are given the reminder, and then they get an electronic certificate also. So a very I would say advanced platform, CoWIN platform. And right now we are, in fact, there is a lot of demand from other countries, especially the neighboring countries, that they want us to help them in various types of trainings for conducting the clinical trials, for developing platforms like this for the whole of their country. So I would say that the whole fight against COVID, it has been, in fact, you see, there are so many things that I can share. Wish you had given me an hour to talk about all this, but you told me that I have to finish everything in 15 minutes. I can tell you that the whole country, every social organization, NGO, scientists, professionals, doctors, nurses, everybody stood up behind the Prime Minister. And we all worked as a team, total whole of government approach. And we worked with a lot of patience, with commitment, dedication, and our doctors, in fact, simultaneously ensured that none of the non-COVID services were adversely affected. During the course of the last 1 year, we even developed telemedicine further as an institutional mechanism with development and notification of the guidelines, and almost people in the at the grassroots level getting consultations from the topmost in the medical colleges through the telemedicine. All these things were simultaneously developed, and with creation of these facilities, creation of the labs, and then simultaneously ensuring that the best possible research around this virus is also not compromised. We created biorepositories with over 50,000 virus samples there for the students, the university, the academia, and everyone to do the research about the virus. Even for this mutant strain which has come to the various parts of the, I think it's already entered 50 countries all across the world. Of course, it has come to India also. So something like 150, 160 cases are in India also. But we have adopted a very, very meticulous approach handling these. We were, in fact, doing the genome sequencing at least 6 months back. And we had already sequenced over 5,000 viruses in our laboratories. So even for the development of the vaccine, there is a fund of almost 1,000 crores which has been created. It's called the COVID Suraksha Kavach. You must have seen, if you have all seen the Republic Day parade this year, our biotechnology tableau, it has been awarded as the best tableau which has depicted the contribution of the biotechnology and the scientists and the development of the vaccine in the country. So I don't know if I can continue to talk because of the time constraints, but I would like to thank all of you. And I know that in England the situation is probably a little more disturbed. This is what we hear from the news that appears on the internet and through other sources. But I can only wish you all good health. I know that, like doctors in India, you are also working under very difficult circumstances, but we feel proud that whether it is US, whether it is UK, or whether it is any other part of the whole world, wherever our Indian doctors are there, everybody gives us a feedback that our Indian doctors are working very selflessly with a lot of dedication and commitment, and that makes us feel proud about our professional colleagues, whether they are in API or in BAPIO or in any other country. During the course of this pandemic, I also had the privilege to be nominated as the chairman of the executive board of WHO. Just last week we finished our WHO executive board meeting, which ran for almost 8 days, 6 hours every day, and we discussed many of the issues related to health. So there's no time to discuss that. And even for the COVID also, we have been, every Thursday, we have been coordinating through the WHO with all the health ministers of the whole world, and sharing information and sharing platforms to ensure that we give the best to the people of this world. I have this strong feeling that though it may be called as a year of COVID, but it has been a year of science also. There's a huge contribution by the scientific community. What we are trying to impress upon people in India is again and again through all possible modes of communication is to follow the COVID appropriate behavior. Until the time we did not have a regular vaccine, I had always propagated that the COVID appropriate behavior, that is the real social vaccine. And as long as you don't have the real vaccine, you never forget this COVID appropriate behavior. And the good thing is that this COVID appropriate behavior, which has been followed by people in India, at least it is our observation that a lot of other diseases which are like airborne or they are transferred through droplets, etc. A lot of them have, their incidence has definitely gone down. So we are now entering into a new world with a new normal, and the greatest thing that has happened to the whole world is that health has come to the center stage of politics everywhere. In India also, there is a visionary plan to strengthen the health systems, give more budget for health activities. There is no time to describe all that, but our Prime Minister had been otherwise also very passionate about health. We have already launched the National Digital Health Mission in a big way. Our Ayushman Bharat has already made very significant strides, and the Prime Minister has appealed to every Indian to contribute for an Atmanirbhar Bharat, and the results are showing in almost many fields. The economy is getting back to normal, and I can tell you on behalf of our government and what's happening here that very soon when we get into the 75 years of independence, complete that next year in 2022, we would have certainly given India a new India, which will ensure that there is smile on everybody's face, there is adequate health, education and nutritional facility for every child, and we can ensure safety of every woman, we can ensure self-respect for every elderly person, and only nationalism and humanism prevail in this country. That's the motto with which Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is working, and this is his dream, this is our dream, and we are appealing to everyone in this country to also develop a dream on similar lines and blend his or her dream with the dream of the Prime Minister. And we also want all of you also to start dreaming around that and contribute for India's growth and welfare in the best possible manner through whatever modes you can. You have just now mentioned, your Honorable Minister has mentioned about the relationship in health between Wales and India. I look forward to many such strengthenings of relationship, and also your contribution in whatever form you deem fit for the welfare of our own Bharat Mata. With these few words, I would love to thank you once again, Dr. Nidhika and Dr. Keshav. I really have nostalgic memories of those few hours or a day or so spent with you in Cardiff, and I look forward to meeting all of you whenever you come to India, with my wishes for your good health and for your welfare, and also the wishes of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, not only for the medical community but also for all Indians who live in Britain. I close this talk. Thank you so much. Namaste. Jai Hind. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Namaste.